Okay, hello again. Uh, let's see. Tonight, I want to talk about one of one of the my favorite things. One of the biggest things that shaped who I was and who I became and who I am. And this is probably going to be hard for you, especially Silas, to wrap your head around because it's so different now. But music. Music's a huge thing for me. My mom had a box of records that she would play, and those records were either Motown or Elvis. And that was pretty much all she listened to when I was younger. And inside the house, that was pretty much it. Like, I especially remember when we were in Northwood Court, spending Saturdays cleaning the house together, listening to the Supremes or Otis Redding, and just singing along. We were a musical family. My mom and I, more so in the fact that we were fans of music. Guy, as a musician himself, I think even at that time, he was probably playing at least a couple of instruments when he was in middle school. He played pretty much every single instrument in band when he was in school. I played a couple, but not until I think like 5th grade or so. But I digress. So the house was filled with music, and it became important to me. Not just the action of having the music on and having, that happiness, but the music itself. And at that time, this was before MTV, before, like, living in Northwood Court, living in that sort of housing project. There were always a lot of different people playing a lot of different music outside, and it was kind of, especially when the weather was warm, it was kind of, it was a cacophony of sounds. Like, it was so many noises, and, everybody was different. And, on Saturday nights, it was like the sounds of people partying and playing different types of music and getting in fights and just craziness. So it was kind of hard to really grab hold of music because at least around the housing project there was so many different sounds around. Inside the house it was always, very predictable. Outside of the house it was a whole bunch of different things. And my brother and his friends would listen to they had started listening to the radio, and the radio is what sucked me in. And there was, back then, there was a weekly countdown show that was on every weekend called American Top 40. And we got to the point of probably when I was in like late third grade, summer after third grade, of just like running to the radio and turning the radio up as loud as my brother and I could, just to hear them count down every 40 songs. Like they would count down every single song that was in the top 40. And it became a ritual. And at that time in 1981, there was stuff on the radio that, like, what were we listening to? Early Duran Duran, maybe. Gary Newman. What was popular then? Probably stuff that you guys would never have heard of. But it was Billy Squier. Oh God, so much bad stuff. It was just it became sorry, I don't mean to cover the microphone. It became a ritual, and it was something that really clicked with me for whatever reason. It just, music really stuck with me. I would listen to it, and of course this show would count down 40 songs every week, and most of the time these songs would just, a song that was number 20 would probably be number 25 the next week, or number 18 the next week. So you'd hear the same songs over and over again. And that's not even counting like listening to the radio over like during the week, where they would play the same songs over and over again too. But like I would hear the music and like hear the lyrics, and it really something in my brain just like it was like a steel trap. Like I just started listening, and it just, everything stayed with me. And I think that summer, my childhood friend Gerald and my mom worked. My mom worked at an insurance company as a secretary, or she would type stuff up. And one of the things that she had to type stuff up was this little cassette recorder. And she had brought one home to do some extra work one weekend, and I guess her boss told her she could hold on to it just in case she needed it. So we had this little tape recorder, and it wasn't anything special. It was just like, it was like that big, like it was, maybe 8 inches long, and just one cassette. And so my friend Gerald and I took this cassette recorder and took one of the cassettes and started just placing it next to the radio and recording the songs that we really liked, so that we could listen to them whenever we wanted. And we were just making mixtapes, and I don't even think that no one showed us or taught us how to do it. We just really wanted to not have to listen to the shit that we didn't want to listen to, and be able to listen to the songs that we did. So we just started doing this, and it was awesome. And so we started making these tapes, and we started bringing them to school. And when the other kids were playing kickball or baseball or whatever, we would just hang out on the side of the playground, and we would bring the tape recorder out, and we would listen to the tapes that we had made from the weekend before. And it was just awesome. It was a really incredible experience. And there were a couple of people that thought that it was really cool and started hanging out to listen with us. But for the most part, kids in 3rd and 4th grade just didn't care. And then, unfortunately, my friend Gerald's his family moved away, and I think in 4th grade I just kind of kept doing it myself, and then I think it was probably in maybe 5th grade. I think it was maybe 5th grade. My mom got us a boombox, which was essentially this big square thing that had a cassette player in it and a radio player, and a handle, and you could play music pretty loudly in it. Um, and I think it was in the beginning of 5th grade. I took that to school once and was sitting outside, and I was playing music really loudly, and that was too much, and I got in trouble, and one of the teachers came and took it away from me and called my mom, and my mom didn't really care, but that was the last time I was allowed to bring it to school. But that was like, that was a thing. We just started, my brother and I just started we were making those tapes every week, and we were listening to those tapes in our radio out front. We had like an extension cord running through the kitchen window out into the front yard, on the sidewalk, just hanging out listening to those tapes. And it really it kind of became my thing. And in a couple of years' time, I would start listening to music that connected with me on a more personal level, on a political, on a emotional, like stuff that, instead of just taping songs that I liked, I started gravitating towards songs that really meant something, and it became a very, very big part of my life. And throughout the rest of my school years, and throughout my 20s and my 30s and my 40s, music was a really big thing. And as you guys know, music has always been a thing that I really love, and that means a lot to me. And it all started from just a weird obsession to taping the radio. So that is American Top 40. Was a formative thing in my youth, and I know most of that doesn't mean shit to you, Jack, or Silas. The world had definitely moved on from that sort of thing, but Jasmine, there was still like mixtapes and stuff around when Jasmine was little, so I think she probably remembers stuff like that, but not, I don't know. But anyway, Anyway, I thought you'd like to hear about that. Um, and yeah, that's all I got for now. Love you guys. Jasmine, Jack, Silas, and anyone else. Yeah, see ya.